Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series for July the 16th, 1988. And sorry, my microphone continues to wobble. I've got to fix one of its legs. But anyway, this is I guess you'd say a somewhat eventful program, but at the same time, during this particular version, and right before the buyout, not the most enjoyable or exciting program. Bob Bradley getting squashed by Solomon Grundy, and not a guy who ultimately is a huge deal for the territory. If you haven't seen Grundy before, basically think the Hillbillies meet a very low gravity kind of guy. Bob Bradley has so much more talent than to be an enhancement talent for this guy. Basically, tries to do wrist locks, tries to do arm bars, works over the arm of Grundy for a bit, doesn't really get where he wants to get with him. Tries to do brawling and cheating, can barely get him off his feet, finally does get him off his feet. We'd see a diving headbutt and an attempted top rope splash from Bradley, but he winds up as a victim of a body slam. Huge, major botch. Could go botchamania worthy. Bradley goes to the top rope, tries to get a cross body, and basically almost gets dumped on his own head here. As Grundy catches him, but then kind of almost catches him over his own head. That doesn't work. Bradley tries to pin Grundy, 1, 2, 3, and does. Bradley tries to pin him after trying to slam him, but Grundy rolls into a small package. Don't necessarily agree with a guy that size. I would say Grundy's 350 at least. Doing a small package doesn't make sense. Buddy Roberts addresses Hayes and Gordy. Basically says both men betrayed him. He has a new family in the Samoans. He calls himself one of the best dressed in the area. Basically says that he's the only free bird left. Kevin Von Erich is awarded the Texas title because, well, as I've been talking about for several weeks now, Terry Taylor has departed the company. He does so without dropping the title. So the board of directors, in this case Frank Dusek, awards the championship to Kevin Von Erich. Steve Simpson goes on and on about wanting to go to war with Jack Victory and Tatum yet again. Same promo every week, just different words, but it's really, watching it in succession, I can't imagine that I as a fan would tune in for this on a weekly basis, in that there's really no storyline development anywhere. So then we go to a review of the rivalry between Black Bart and Bill Irwin. For those that have been following the program, there's no reason for me to go through that. Akbar and Iceman have words for the Von Erichs. Basically, Kevin and Kerry are both called inconsequential. They're both told that their championship reigns are unnecessary. Akbar promises he's the most powerful man in the area, says that he, in fact, needs to be treated with more respect. I mean, it's very basic, pretty simple. Then we see a Kevin Von Erich promo, which actually makes Von Erich look kind of, I don't know, a little daft for a babyface. He admits that he doesn't understand a lot of what's going on in World Class, doesn't understand Von Erich teaming with a former Freebird and Michael Hayes, doesn't understand what's going on in the area with the return of Kamala and other people. It's just, he almost looks mentally inept, which is not the way you want a top babyface to look. We go to Eric Emery and Stephen Casey. We've seen this several times before. Emery is your former multi-time light heavyweight champion. Steve Casey, trying to continue their feud. They've been feuding for several months. What I don't like watching this episodically is the stakes in the feud never change. I think Memphis did this really well, even though they had the same guys in territory. There was almost always a stipulation that would keep you tuning in week to week. The NWA did this with a larger rotation. I don't see that as much from World Class, and maybe it's that they have a smaller roster, especially at this time. But you know, uh, Emery basically gets back body dropped out of the corner. Casey, who I don't know that I've ever seen him do anything outside of World Class, so that'll be interesting if I come across him in my other territorial audio travels. But real basic stuff. Backslide attempted by Emery, and Casey gets the move on his own and actually almost gets a victory out of it. Bronco Luvic still around. Referee who just will not go away. He's been around forever and ever. Cheap shots by Emery coming back in, puts the boots to his opponent. Willing to cheat, willing to use darker tactics, stronger tactics. Casey out the back door. Casey does get a near fall of his own. They do go back and forth. The match on its own, had it not been, something that they overly do and have overly done for several weeks now, several months, in a repetitive nature, would be there. Emery gets the victory with a small package. Then we go to world title Kamala versus Kerry Von Erich. They give them about 7 minutes before they close the program. Being that Kamala is not nearly as athletic as he was, in like his 83, 84, 85 run, mid 80s anyway. This is certainly not a match that I think a lot of people are waiting to see, especially with the fact they have seen it before. Kerry tries to use power. Kamala more powerful. Big surprise there. Then we kind of see Kamala trying to get a test of strength out of Kerry. Kerry eventually does go for it. We have seen this almost, I wouldn't say the exact match, but very close to it. Kamala laying on Kerry for, making Kerry the weight. Kerry ducks, hits a few shots, and the discus punch. It takes 2 times. I will say the selling of the discus punch by Kamala, a pretty big thing. He's toppling, never goes down from it. Kerry puts the claw on, and obviously the claw is a big deal. Kamala breaks free due to the interference from Skandar Akbar. And again, Kamala manages a body slam and a big splash. Referee comes in, but the match has already been stopped due to the interference from Akbar. But that is the end of this particular program. We'll be back with more of July in World Class right after this.